following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Victory Monday! Welcome to the show. Shannon Gross, Nate Newton, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels.
Thank you,
Wingstop, for bringing another episode of Hanging with the Boys live from the SWBC Mortgage living room in Frisco, Texas. And fellas, I got the shirt on because I'm either going to Mexico or I'm starting the road to Tampa Bay this weekend. How fitting is this that it comes down to Sunday in New York against Jason Garrett and the Giants? How fitting is that, man? We just need Washington to do what Washington does and lose that night game. We will find out Sunday night. Man, I honestly cannot believe they are in this situation. But, man, has it made – I mean, this is the most 2020 thing that has happened this year. I mean, this came out of nowhere, man. News just came down right before we came on the show. Washington has released Dwayne Haskins, which I think we all were talking about it. We saw it coming, but we didn't. I don't know if any of us saw it coming this week before this game, but he is out. Just drama right up to the end. It's Cowboys football. Would you expect anything less? I mean, let's just go. Nate, how are you today?
I'm great, my friend.
Oh, I love it. Quiet Nate. Listen, quiet pre-show Nate is an explosive in-show Nate. I love a quiet pre-show Nate because that means he got some stuff built up that he just trying to sit on because he going to let it go on the show. I love quiet pre-show Nate, baby. Woo! He had his jams playing and everything. Let's go. Let's go, Nathaniel.
See him sip on his coffee like Kermit the Frog over there, just like
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Let's go, Nathaniel.
You can tell Shannon has a baby because everything turned out to be about kids stuff, you know. Kermit the Frog. Kurt, how are you, man? How are you, Kurt?
I'm good. How are you?
I got on late, man. I want to apologize, because I'm normally one of the first ones on, and I'm trying to comprehend what has happened here, because as I always say, Jesse always shakes his head every Friday about Nate and his prediction and his beliefs. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be quiet. There ain't no pre-show Nate. I'm going to be quiet because I want to hear how we work up to this point of how the Cowboys have a chance at the playoffs. I want to just hear how you three guys going to work up to this point.
Wasn't there one person that didn't pick the Cowboys to win this week? Shannon, did you not pick them to win?
No, I picked them. Even Jesse picked him. I think we all picked him.
I know Jesse did it. That was the shock.
Yeah, but y'all, this is how we got to this point. Let me explain how we got to this point.
I thought you wasn't going to say that.
All of a sudden.
Let's go. There you go. Let's go.
Pick them.
Let's go.
This is what happened. Well, if they win this game, then I'll be forced to pick them.
Yeah. Let's go, Nathaniel.
Then I'll be forced to pick them. Don't be forced to pick the Dallas Cowboys. You either with us, the Dallas Cowboys,
or now it's
you're
us.
Not with us.
Now
the
it's
Dallas
us.
Cowboys.
Gotcha.
You're not with Zeke, the Dallas Cowboys. You either with us or you're not riding with us. Just like Zeke said If you weren't with us six or 7 games ago, don't ride with us now. I don't want to hear about Dwayne Haskins and some swag ladies joint. I don't want to hear about how Washington is being affected. I want to hear about how you guys built up to this point of finally liking the Dallas Cowboys again.
Well, they turned some things around here. They looked like dog doo-doo for a while, and now they're, they found something.
And if anybody on this show knows about dog doo-doo, it's Kurt.
It's Kurt. He got all the dogs. As they bark on time.
So Shannon, I want you to start the show and get Jesse going and get Kurt agreeing, and you're not going to Mexico for 2 seconds. I want to hear all of this.
All right. Well, here's the deal. There's still some questions, Nate. There's still some questions. They beat another bad team, but they beat them. That's what you should do, and you beat them in pretty convincing fashion. I tell you what, Jalen Hurts has got something, man. That dude, I think that dude's going to be good.
He got a fumbling problem that if he don't fix in 3 years, he'll be out of the league. He's got a fumbling problem, what I told you about Friday. Now, one prediction did come true, and I need for you to quit bad-mouthing our guys, Jesse, because you got my man, the striker, Donovan Wilson, a penalty for hitting somebody late.
I keep telling y'all that's not me. Y'all want to keep praising the striker and saying, "Oh, this ain't 1990, brother. This ain't the 90s, man. This is 2020."
I'm gonna be quiet, man. Nate, be quiet. Be quiet. Just look into your WebEx and be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm looking straight to the WebEx.
All right. Let me ask you this. Let's get it started. Jesse, what are you seeing from the offense? Amari Cooper or Gallup, I can't remember, one of them in their post-game interview said that they're getting the reps in now with Andy Dalton to where he knows what kind of ball they like to be thrown. He knows the routes they run. He knows they're starting to click. They know how the ball is coming out of his hand. They know how he likes to throw the ball. And it's just taken them to this point to really get on the same page with Dak going out, and the repetition is what he said. And you're starting to see it. These guys balled out, and all three of them, and any one of them, can have 150, 200-yard gain, and they look like what we thought they were going to look like all season long before Dak went out. So, I mean, is this Eagles defense that bad, or can this offense put up 35, 40 points a game from here on out? What do you think?
I agree with whoever said it was Gallup or Cooper, whoever, about the reps. That's important in any position group. You got to be able to get the reps with the guys that you're going to be out there playing with. So that part is absolutely true. The thing, and I think I said this a week or so ago, and maybe we can add reps into it, but I said it was 25% that, this was more so on the defensive side, it was 25% guys getting healthy in certain positions, another 25% of the light bulb finally going off, and then there's 50% that the Cowboys have played 3 bad teams in a row. And that helps. And you can only play the schedule that you are given. And the Cowboys have done what you're supposed to do to bad opponents. What's the guy's name? Michael Jacquet, number 38 for the Eagles. Whoever he was, this is the kind of guy, you hear Charles Barkley say it on the TNT set for basketball games. This is the kind of guy you send a limo for, you send the police escort for. This is the guy you want to make sure he gets to the arena safe and sound. You want his uniform laid out. You want COVID protocol to have been perfect for him. You wrap him in a bubble and you say, please, sir, please, Michael Jacquet, or whatever his name was, please, number 38, please show up on Sunday so we can just abuse you and not go to jail for it. And that's what they did. They found the mouse in the house. They found the barbecue chicken, and they roasted them all game long. And that's what you're supposed to do to defenders like that when you're a superior opponent. And the Cowboys did just that. But again, part of it is getting the reps. Yes, finding that rhythm between yourself and your receivers. That is so important. That is so necessary. But it also helps that you're not playing top-level competition and you're playing bad football teams. The Cowboys can only play, and I'm not knocking them for that. They can only play who they put on the schedule, and they have come in the right time of having 3 really bad opponents that are either as bad or worse than they are, and they have won those games, and that's how they found themselves, Nathaniel, in this position from being a 1 win and a loss by the Washington football team away from being division winners and heading into the playoffs.
Is that blue Kool-Aid in that cup, Nate?
Yeah.
No, excuse me. I got caught up in the star. I'm sorry.
Oh,
man.
I got caught up in the star. Who this Charles Haley Hall of Fame? Oh, another. This Dallas Cowboy thing is just consuming me, and that's not fair to you guys. that I should be so passionate about the Dallas Cowboys, and you guys are so lukewarm.
Oh.
Even the gospel, you're going straight to hell for that. You can't be lukewarm. You gotta be all in, all out.
So when you got a guy on the other team that you can pick on, is that does the players kind of see that and take control of it, or is the coaches, do they scheme it up so they can?
Kurt, I'm gonna answer that question. I heard it was a very bad fight on the sideline during the game. Amari Cooper, for the first time, tried to fight Michael Gallup in order to get on number 38. They're like, let me take my turn. That's like a pass rusher that know that's a sorry dude on that offensive line. Everybody wants a couple of reps against him.
Yep.
And so it was a bad fight, and they had to stop it, man. And they say Gallup. That's why Gallup didn't do nothing in the second half. They're like, you can have him in the second half. Let me get my 100 on him first.
Nate, in all honesty, though, joking aside, there's no way you saw them winning the last 3 games to get to where they're at and put themselves in a position where now they can make the playoffs with the losing record.
You want my honest?
I want you to be honest.
From the heart.
Yes.
You want it from my fat, overweight, cholesterol-filled heart with fat around it, right?
Yeah, but wait. And here's the deal.
I thought the Cowboys going 16-0, and I'm very disappointed that they lost 8 games.
If y'all want to hear Nate, if you want to hear Nate's true feelings, tune in tonight to Cowboys Crosstalk, because he'll tell you the truth on that show. He will not tell you the truth on this show. He's a Cowboys homer on this show.
You know what? As much as I fought for you guys, they say, Nate, who would you like to work with? I quit Nate. I quit Bill Jones. I quit Everson Walls. I said, I want these guys. I want to hang with these boys. Kurt Daniels. I want to hang with Jesse Balls or Holly. Shannon, I got 8 babies, but only one that cry all the time, gross. I beg for this. And then y'all do me like this, man.
You want to know the truth about that? Derek will only allow 1 homer on each show. You got Mickey on one, you got Bill on another one, you got
Mickey ain't a homer, dog. Mickey bought the Cowboys. We just don't see. We just don't know.
But Nate, what is this team getting better? That's my question. They've beat.
Now I'm gonna give you something real here, and Jess, you may see it, and Kurt, I know you see it too. Out of all of these teams that have not been so good the Cowboys have played, this is the first time they looked good in a win. Mm-hmm. I think this was the best game that they looked at the best in a win, because the last 2 games, even you see the guys running, you're like, oh man, golly, we hope this good. Like we saw the kid from the 49ers, the first team and the second team, like, oh my God, we was glad when they got hurt. But this game here, once the Cowboys got their mind set and they got into the game and evened it up and took the lead, you felt good. And it's been a long time since I felt that way, like, oh, well, they're looking good doing this right here. Now, and what I had to realize is, it's a lot of teams get 300 and 400 yards a game. We're like, oh, they're still giving up 400 and some yards. Well, go check. Unless you're an elite top 10 team in this league, you look at the rest of the league and everybody giving up 300 and 400 yards a game. So these
but the Cowboys gave up almost 500.
These three teams
yards of total
that
offense.
they have played, they have had 3 turnovers in a quarter. 3 turnovers in a quarter. They are doing what most of the league is doing, giving up big yardage between the 20s, getting these timely turnovers. And that's what I asked for at the beginning of the year. If we could just get timely turnovers with this offense having the potential to be as explosive as they are, with this O-line having played together for 4 straight games, even though they're young, they're mismatched guys, Coach Philbin has done a great job of putting this together. And now that the offensive coordinator has finally bought in to trying to control the game somewhat to help the whole team, this is a better team. And for the first time, and I don't know how many weeks, this team has looked good in winning a game. Wow, man. I shouldn't have said all of that.
It was great.
Jesse,
The truth.
God is good.
God is dope.
God is good.
I tell you what, I will give the defense, I'll give them credit because we've been bashing them
Randy
all
Gregory
year.
have 3 forced turnovers.
Yep.
D-Law played nice. He didn't get a sack, but he played nice. Gallamore's flashed. He ain't gotten where we need him to get. He flashed. Philadelphia don't have these studs. We didn't have our studs. And I'm telling people what we are doing here. See, I ain't talking about the playoffs no more, my friend. What I'm talking about is now we're looking at players, and I'm a coach. I'm looking at players like, okay, we thought he was a starter, but we see he ain't. But this is where he is valuable at. Mm-hmm. Look at this guy. Okay, we can keep him. We can offer him something. Oh, we can let this guy go. Oh, okay. Now you are really team building now. You are really team building because you are seeing your talent displayed on the field. And so when they play New York, I'm not so much worried about a playoff, but I am worried about, okay, keep playing these guys. Keep putting them in place. And maybe next year, when you free agent a few guys, when you bring in a few guys, when you draft, now you build a little bit better team. You don't go through these pains that we're going through right now of winning games and giving up massive and ton of yards. Because it ain't every game you're going to get 3 turnovers. They've been coming in bunches, man. Yeah. And we've been very fortunate. And see now, and me, I'm a realist because I'm driving home and I'm listening like, man, as good as Randy Gregory doing, we got to really manage his offseason. We got to really be on him because it ain't promised. I'm a realist now. I sit here and it ain't promised.
You're right.
So yeah, we still need a one technique. We still need a one technique to go along with Gallimore and Antoine Wood. We need somebody that's going to do some damage. So I'm loving it, and I like joking with you guys. I do, but all this is for me is team building. I mean, serious team building.
Let me pose this question. Let me do a teaser, if I will, Shannon. We'll answer this question. I want Kurt, I want Nate, I want Shannon to answer this question on the other side of the break. What you've seen in the last 3 games from this defense, has this prompted you or maybe even the front office to take another look
at the coach?
To take another look
at the coach?
At Mike Nolan as your DC heading into the 2021 season. That will be the question up for discussion on the other side of the break on Hangin with the boys.
Let's do it.
Spoken.
Jesse Holley hosting the show. By the way, mention Randy Gregory. Go to DallasCowboys.com or Dallas Cowboys YouTube page and listen to his post-game interview, man. I want that dude to talk after every game. He is real. He breaks it down for you. He tells you like, well, no, this is actually what we talked about. This is what we did. I mean, I loved listening to him after the game last night, man. They need to let him talk after every game. It was really, really cool.
Right,
Go
Shannon.
listen to it. I love that dude, man. And if that doesn't make you want to pull for that guy, then you ain't got no soul. You just like Jesse. You got no soul. You better be saved because you got no soul. All right, let's go. We'll be back. Next segment, Jesse Holley will be hosting Hanging with the Boys.
Is your family a Cowboys family? Have you taken holiday photos at the Star? Was your wedding theme blue and silver? Have you convinced your kids them is spelled with a D? If so, every game day feels like a vacation to you, so treat it like one. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
We're back, and since Jesse's hosting this segment, I should make him talk to you about underwear, but he doesn't have the live read, so I'll do it anyway. Watching the game in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats is for amateurs. If you want to relax like a pro, upgrade to the comfort of Tommy John Loungewear. It looks awesome and feels even better. It's got pockets for snacks and is machine washable for any unpredictable nacho cheese spills. Shop loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Cowboys. And Jesse posed a great question right before we went to the break. It's one that I think I brought up a week or two ago, and everybody was like, hell no. But let's revisit that question now with the deacon, the gospel, the one, the only, Jesse Holly.
So that's the question that I want to ask you guys. Leading up to, I think it was week 11, the Cowboys had 11 total turnovers all year long. So basically one turnover a game or less than one turnover a game up until that point. In the last couple weeks, they've been averaging 3 turnovers a game. I think they have like 14 or 13 turnovers in the last four games or something crazy like that. You've kind of seen, now I said it earlier, I do think 50% of what you see them on defense improving because they play the Bengals, backup quarterback, bad football team. The Niners, backup quarterback, severely injured, bad football team. And then the Eagles, injured, backup quarterback, still trying to figure out their way in Philadelphia, bad football team. But does this late surge, and we know how it is with the boss man, Mr. Jones, it's always who is the last one to have his ear. Most of the times are the ones and the decisions that he goes with. So we heard the famous saying of it's not about how you start, but about how you finish. This Cowboys defense, especially in the turnover department, if they can come out in week 16 or 17, whatever next week is, and get a win over the Giants, and this defense is turnover disruptive, and they create another 2 or 3 or 4 turnovers in that game that help them win, and this team gets into the playoffs, Kurt, Shannon, Nate, do you have to kind of make a U-turn and revisit the conversation of, hold on now, I know we were ready to kick Mike Nolan out the door the first 11 weeks of the season, but the last 5 he has improved. And do we say, Let's see what he can bring to us in 2021 with a full offseason, a full draft, a full everything, OTAs, minicamp, training camp into the 2021 season next August.
Let me take this. Let me take this one. Since I never get to start these conversations off.
Shannon?
I don't know what ownership is going to do with this, but here's what I would do if I was Coach McCarthy. That's my guy. I brought that guy in, and I would stand on the table and I would say, no training camp, no off season. You brought your guys in and you let your guys go halfway through the season. When you let your guys go, and I was able to get the reps, to get my system in place with the guys that we had, look what started to happen. Things started to click. Guys started to figure it out. The language became easier to understand. Everybody started grasping the concepts. I don't think it's fair if you run this guy out of town based off of him working with guys you brought in that he may not necessarily have wanted, and then once he got his hands on these guys and was able to get the reps, look what we started doing. We started getting turnovers. When has this team ever had turnovers like this? It's been a long, long time. I would fight like hell if I was Coach McCarthy and say, that's my guy. You need to give him a chance. You need to bring him back, because what you're seeing this last half of the season, that's who he is. He's not a reflection of the first half of this season. Now, are the fans going to mutiny? Are the fans going to raise hell? I think so. I think they want him gone. I don't think these games have mattered, even if you squeak into the playoffs. Now, the only way I think that the fans turn around is if the team does what you said, Jesse. They do the same thing against the Giants. They get into the playoffs and they ball out the first, second, third, whatever they make into the playoffs. The defense plays really good ball. Then I think maybe the fans do a 180. I don't think you can save that perception with the fans. But if I'm the coach, I'm fighting for my guy, man. And me personally, I don't know if I'm against that. Like I think right now, if you go into New York and you hold the Giants to 21 or less points, probably maybe 17, I really have to think about bringing him back next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kurt.
That's not going to be a popular opinion, but that's where I'm at right now.
Kurt.
It's kind of hard to believe that now they're tied for second now in fumble recoveries and tied for ninth in takeaways overall, which I think, like you said, after 11 weeks, we'd have never thought that was possible. They were so far down. But I've always thought that the defense was sort of hamstrung, I guess, because they didn't have that offseason like Shannon talked about. No, your new coordinator, they've already admitted they probably tried to do too much as far as changing up the schemes and adding new wrinkles to it. Without the offseason workouts, without the preseason, they just didn't have time to implement it. So I think that, now we're finally seeing these guys kind of gel and find their way in this system. And, I was reading a story on the morning news this morning. I mean, in previous games when they had a mobile quarterback, they had Jalen Smith trying to spy on him. In this game, they had Chris Goodwin, the safety, who had enough speed and athleticism that he could help contain Jalen Hurts a little bit. So it's those kind of moves that make you wonder, okay, maybe this guy does kind of know what he's doing. He's just hadn't had the benefit of the time, the reps needed. And we talked about that with Dalton and the receivers. They needed some reps. Well, maybe this defense needed some reps too. Now, I don't think the fans should play a big part in this, but I would give the players maybe some credit to it. You don't want the inmates running the asylum, so to speak, but if they're going to buy into what Nolan's doing, if they're finally on board with what he's doing, then yeah, I'd say roll with them. Now, if the players if it's not something the players are going to grasp onto, or they're just not going to play well for him, then yeah, maybe you do look at something. But the fact that this is McCarthy's guy, like Shannon said, you had some guys in there that weren't his people, the Don Terry Poes and Griffins and maybe all that kind of set him back a little bit. So yeah, given what he's been through, given where they are now, maybe he does needs another chance at this.
Nate.
Hey, do we have time? Do we have time? Because I'm going to talk about 3-4 minutes. Do we have time?
We got time.
For you, we got it.
Okay.
We got as much time as you want.
Let me say this right here, man. You heard me mention several weeks ago a little bit about Coach Nolan. But number one, was these guys that they brought in guys that Coach wanted in? I don't know that. We don't know that. Or is guys that the scouts brought in? But from now on, I believe this right here. You tell the scouts what you want, and you let them go out and get it. And you let them pick the players. You tell them your system you want to run, and let them go out and get your players. Number two, if you ever think that you going to please some fans by trying to build your team, you'll never get it built. Mm-hmm. Number three, if you have a system that you know and have seen that have worked, you work your system and you go to the ownership and say, these are the type guys we need. You either buy in or don't buy in. This is what I'm running here. And if ownership has to and management has to back you 100%. I remember, and the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because I remember Coach Johnson came in here, and for almost 2 years, all we had to hear about was the college coach can't coach. What's they bringing these sorry schemes in here? But before you know it, the whole league is running these college schemes and these college theories and these college philosophies because we're well on our way to winning games. You fire the man, that's on you. You keep the man, that's on you. But as a coaching staff and as a management team, you make this best decision going forward. The best things the Cowboys have done this year is managed disaster, got through the disaster, and starting to go the other way, and that's upwards. So you fire him, that's on you. You hire another guy, that's on you. But whatever you decide to do, you let the scouts get the players, let the coach the players, and if nobody don't want to buy into the system, you get rid of those players. Because you can't have 18 different theories, methods, and wishes. It don't work. Get in there, do what you got to do. If you keep Coach Nolan, give him the players that he need, let him have an opportunity to put in his system. There's no off season for the Dallas Cowboys. You just, when the season over with, you got 2 weeks to go kiss up on mama and daddy, sons and daughters, and have you behind back here learning my system. That's what I believe, brothers.
Jesse, Nate's trying to take your job as the gospel. You better defend yourself. You better get in there, man.
No, Jesse know him, right?
No, there's nothing to defend. No,
yeah.
I think what Nate said was well put. My only thing with what Nate said was we still don't know what side of the fence he's on.
And
a lot of great things.
No, Jess, look at here. Keep the guy and keep him, because guess what? You go out and get another dude. You done drafted some 3-4 players. You go out and get another dude and say, I want to run a 4-3. And the guy could be already here. Okay, now we got to scramble to kind of, okay, we was halfway on the fence this way, halfway on the fence that way. Now now we still got in-between players and guys we got to get rid of. So you as a management team and as a coach got to say, we are on our way to this 3-4. Our theory is starting to work. Keep the guy. But if you fire the guy, please know what defense you want to run, what type of players you want to have, so we don't have to go through this. And the players that you draft in the first 4 rounds, offensively or defensively, play them. Keep the guy. What's wrong with the guy? Nothing's wrong with the guy. You just brought in the wrong players with the wrong attitude.
I have to say, I am a little bit shocked that around the table, unanimously, there's been Kurt, Nate, and Shannon have all been on the table saying keep Mike Nolan. I didn't think when I posed that question that I would get that type of response of unanimous decision to keep Mike Nolan as the defensive coordinator going forward for this Cowboys defense. But football is a very fluid situation, and what was a feeling 6 months ago might not be a feeling right now. What was a feeling 6 weeks ago, 6 days ago, might not be the same feeling it is now. And this is one of those situations where, again, 8 weeks ago, we were all saying, listen, don't even pack your bags, Mike Nolan. We'll FedEx them to you. You know, just get out of the building. And to now we come to a point where some on this very panel are saying, keep the guy. Shannon, back to you.
Where are you at on this, Jesse? What's your opinion?
My thing is I still think he's bad. I do. I still think this defense is still giving up almost 500 yards a game. And if you're going to go with your guys' theory and say keep him, then you're going to go into this offseason, you're going to try to give him everything that he needs. And then what happens if we're on the same historic pace next year? Now you have
bad drafting.
So now you have a bunch of guys in a system that you're going to eventually have to fire a guy for. And now I think sometimes you kind of cut your losses before they get a little bit too bad, and then go from there and say, all right, we're going to cut our losses, and what we have, and then we'll continue to build for what we need in the future. But if you give another offseason of defensive draft, because you're going to go a lot defensively in this draft, and they're trying to fit a guy's scheme who you don't plan on keeping here long term if things aren't going well early on next season, which is a possibility, which is still a possibility. Now you have an abundance amount of guys that you've put time, energy, and assets into for a coach who you got rid of. So if my thing is, if you head into this offseason and there's an inclination that keeps you up at night to whether to keep this guy or fire this guy, then that to me means he needs to be fired.
Okay, if you fire him right away as a fan and as players, I want to know, is this a 4-3 guy or is this a 3-4 guy? Because trying to play this in-between thing never gets done. So if you go out and say, okay, man, who is my guy? Designate my guy, which Mr. Jones and his team probably already done designated a guy. They're going to probably hand Coach McCarthy a list because, you know, Coach McCarthy's in the middle of a season. You don't wait. The Cowboys have no slack time. So this decision has to be made within weeks of this being over with. They have no slack time because you can't, let's take our time. Take your time and do what? So you're going to have to make a decision very quickly to get your team going in the right direction. You are a bad team. Bad teams don't have off seasons. You don't get to play in the playoffs for a couple of weeks and the coach said, man, give these guys a month off. No, sir. You are a bad team. And I don't care what the league mandates, you got to start trying to turn around your program. So if you get rid of this guy, which is most likely, because I'm with you, Jess. I'm with you. If you go to sleep at night saying, get rid of him, but you got to have a guy coming. And you got to know, and your players got to know where you stand defensively.
But does he deserve some credit for the way they've kind of turned things around a little bit?
A lot.
But to me, the only thing that's been turned around is the turnovers. You're still giving up the points. You're still giving up the yards.
Which would you prefer? Give up inside the 20s and turn the ball over, or give up all the yardage and the scores and no turnovers? Everything ain't gonna always work hand in hand.
No, but can I get that same energy against the good football teams? Don't give me that against the backup
and that's where the draft
football teams.
Right, and that's where the draft, you have to start building from somewhere. When Jimmy came in, that's why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. When Jimmy came in, we got the brakes beat off of us. And then we started beating people that we were supposed to beat. He got better players in, and the scheme got better because the players got better. Okay. So now what you don't have the luxury of. You either be quitters like most of the town want you to be and get the first or second pick for the next 4 years, build until during the process. Or you try to win and your scouting department has to become all world of you. Will McClay they have to go to Will McClay and say, what's your best 5 guys at this spot? And let Will McClay say, this is this guy, this is this guy, and this is this guy. And we ain't sat in a hotel with a guy saying, well, I really like him, but he got a little personal problem, but I can work him through it. We don't need no coaches doing that. We need scouts doing this. Your team gets better through the process of how you handle it. Scouts go out and get players. They let the coaches see the player. They tell you the ins and outs on this player. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Gregory is having a hell of a year. He is showing you what they drafted him for. But now the smart dude, which we all are on this show, saying, oh yeah, he had a hell of a year. But boy, that ain't what I'm worried about. When this offseason come, I'm chaining some shackles to this dude. And wherever he go, I'm going to have somebody right there with him. Because it don't stop off the field. And football don't start and stop off the field. It's just a product of being a football player. You live it, you walk it, and you have to always be thinking about it. So you have to keep yourself and your players focused on one thing, and that's their livelihood. People will tell you in a minute about their job. The job ain't the world, the family is the world. But how does the family eat? How does the family have a shelter? How does the family have shoes? No job, none of that happens. So it has to become abroad. Football has to become abroad, and that's what we are. If football becomes your number one priority,
All right, man. I tell you what, we got the gospel on the show. Now we got the truth on the show, and the.
I told y'all. Listen to me. When you got quiet,
stop, man.
Fire. When you get quiet, pre-show Nate. That's why I love a quiet pre-show Nate.
You know what?
I keep telling y'all.
Hey, forget the smashing the watermelons for this game. Get Nate Newton in the team meeting room on Saturday night and let him talk. Get him up to New York. Let him fly up there with the team. Let him talk to them. Let's go. I want to run through this wall right now. All right. Kurt, when we come back, you'll have 2 minutes, and they're all yours for the final segment on Hanging with the Boys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Cowboys fans, celebrate CD's record-breaking rookie season by heading to the Pro Shop and picking up his jersey. Today, the Pro Shop has a huge selection of jerseys, cold weather gear, and after Christmas deals up to 50% off for every fan. Visit your local Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop or shop DallasCowboys.com for your new gear today. Kurt Daniels, you have 2 minutes. The show is all yours. Take it away.
I don't think we even have that. So I'll just ask you guys, are the Cowboys the best team in the East now, do you think, where they're playing?
No.
No? Who's better?
I'm going with yes. Even without Haskins?
Yeah, no, man.
Smith, without Alex Smith.
They're the best
Alex
team.
Smith.
They get a quarterback, they're going to be something to deal with, bro. If they get a quarterback, they're going to be something to deal with. Let me say this right quick, like y'all. Fans, please forgive me. Please forgive me, because I know we're going to mention Washington 1,000 times this week. And if I say Redskins, I promise you I don't mean no harm. I promise you. I just was raised a lot of years saying that. So please don't. I want to apologize now to all the Native Americans. I don't mean no harm. I swear to God I don't. All right? Thank you. Kurt, you got 30 seconds.
It might be the best team. Depends on if Washington's got Alex Smith or not. I'll say that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think this week they're not the best team. I think for the future they are. This week I don't think they're the best team. I think the Cowboys are the best team this week. We'll see. Jesse, you got any
Wait, Jesse
final
go,
words?
man. Jesse blinked out on us. The gospel left us.
We might have lost Jesse.
The truth overtook the gospel.
Nah, ain't the truth, bro. I'm just a fun guy that like to have fun. Yeah.
Hey,
Nate, you never
speaking
let me
of,
down,
tonight, me and
Quiet
Nate hosted
pre-show,
Crosstalk on DallasCowboys.com and 105.3 The Fan. We'll have very special guest Greg Ellis on the show. So
Tar Heel!
Make sure you.
He coaching now. He a head coach
Watch.
somewhere from what I hear.
Tar Heel.
So hopefully we have energized Nate on the show tonight. Hopefully, Jesse, you got anything to say before we get out of here? You've been way too quiet today.
I love quiet
blanked
pre-show,
out on us,
Nathaniel.
Can't hear
Yeah,
it.
he blanked out on us. That's Chris.
They
That's Chris
can
B.
hear him on
He
the
got
live
something
view,
to
but
say.
not us.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
on live view, but not us.
Yeah, I
We
don't know
just
what
can't hear him
happened.
on the database.
You better
I
get
love.
out of here, man, because Chris
I
B.
love-
Man, he probably needs some time.
I
All
love.
right, fellas. Nate, good stuff. Kurt, good stuff. Jesse, Holly,
All of
good
y'all
stuff.
have a great
Chris
day.
B,
Jesse,
thanks for
Kurt.
keeping us on the air.
Quiet
We'll see y'all
pre-show
tomorrow,
Nate is the
same
best.
place, same time tomorrow. Hanging with the boys.
Oh, my God.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?